Welcome to ilectureonline. Now it turns out that even when you apply normal forces to a cross-sectional surface, you could still result in shear stresses. How does that work? Well, for example, let's say we have a beam or a bar and you push on it on both ends. Not only will you shorten that length of that beam, you may also widen the cross-section in the middle here because of the internal molecular structure of that material. Likewise, if you pull on a cable, you tend to make the cable thinner, and that also is caused by the shear stresses that occur when you have normal forces applied to the cross-sectional surface. So what does that look like? Well, here you can see that when you have normal forces, it will result in a normal perpendicular to the cross-sectional area stress, but you can also have shear stresses in the XY direction. If the normal force is in the Z direction, then you can see that you can also end up with what we call shear stresses in the XY directions. And the way we note that, we use the letter tau, the Greek letter tau, right here where it's defined. And you can see here that this is tau zy. That means that the normal force is in the z direction, but that the shear stress is in the y direction. And here you can see tzx. Again, the force is in the normal direction, in the z direction, and the shear stress is in the x direction. And later on, we'll show you what the tensor notation of that looks like. So remember that normal forces can result in shear stress, and it depends on the molecular structure and the molecular forces inside the material. The definition of T or tau Zx and tau Zy, again, it's the limit as the cross-sectional area that we consider shrinks down to 0, and that gives you the ratio then of the force in the here in the x direction divided by the shrinking cross-sectional area, and the ratio of the force in the y direction as the delta A shrinks. Of course, what we do then is that ratio will always be a constant as we shrink it down to a particular point within the cross-sectional area of the material. So again, we'll show you some examples of that later, but at least now we have some familiarity with the definition of what we call normal stress and shear stress within the material. So even though we have normal forces applied to the cross-sectional area, they will result typically in shear stresses if we want to consider them, and so we have to have ways in which we can calculate that, and that will be shown in some later videos.